That's the one. Now, a few people have asked me about this, and they've said, Andy, you're crazy. Why did you spend that kind of money on one fixture? American DJ did a fantastic demonstration of it, but didn't do it justice. This is how do I describe it? It's a retro light. Don't get me wrong, it might not be for everybody. It's a retro light with a big twist to it though. And you've got to see my side of it as to where the twist is. Basically, there was a few lights about back in the 80s. There was the Kumar Venus, the Clay-Packy Orbital, but they were basically the same thing. And they looked a lot like that. The only difference was, in here, where this spun round, as you can see, there are umpteen lenses round the edge of it. And in there was a big 1000 watt halogen bulb. Problem with the 1000 watt halogen bulb is it gets hot. The motors that sit in here that spin it round got hot. The grease cooked in it and it packed in. Or you had to take it apart every time you'd use the damn thing and re-grease it. Fantastic light for its time, an incredible light, but not what you wanted as a mobile jock, not what you wanted even as a nightclub jock really, because you had to keep taking the damn thing apart. So what they did was, American DJ, those clever guys, they removed the 1000 watt halogen and they placed in there, I think it was 38 LEDs. Now 38 LEDs doesn't sound much, but believe me, coupled with real glass lenses and the colour coding and the things you can do with LEDs, because the other one, bearing in mind, was just white. If you wanted any colour to it, the original from the 80s, you had to put gels in these lenses. And again, the gels got hot and looked a mess in a matter of days of use, or a couple of nights of use in our case. Now, what ADJ have done is they've taken it, stuck it on a single arm moving head, given it the accuracy and the control you have of a moving head. So this arm moves on its base, this arm moves on the arm like you would a normal moving head, and then the disc spins itself. And people still say to me, well, why did you want that? Don't get me wrong, it's a big light. That's my hand as comparison. That is one heck of a size light. Comes in about the same size as a 575 moving head. But it's good for medium to large venues. Whatever you do, don't try and take this into a small venue. You'll be taking people's retinas out with it. It is one bright light. But the reason I wanted it and the twist that was on it is the pure control you have over it. It's incredible. Once you hook that up to DMX, what you can do with it, well, I tell you what, there's an easier one than that. We're going to hook it up to DMX, we'll get a little bit of smoke in the room, get rid of the lights, and then we'll show you what it can really do. Okay then, what I've done is hooked up to DMX, and what you're looking at is my lighting laptop with Limelight Verse on it. Runs on Show Express the same sort of way, but to be honest with you, if you're going to use it on DMX, don't play about with a DMX board. You need computer control purely for what it does. What we've got in the middle here is your classic movement attributes. Over here we've got the colour attributes, and as you'd expect, black is off, red, green, blue and white LEDs in there. But down here is where the fun comes. These are pre-programmed into your DMX, so you can have red and green on, red and white, red and blue, and so on. Any combination of two colours. Then you can have any combination of three colours, or there is automatic chases already programmed in. Down here, the other attributes are the internal programs of both movement and the light patterns, and there's a sound active. Bear in mind this is all on DMX. And the other one that we've got, see if we can get my camera to focus, there we go, is strobe, pulse and a random strobe on the shutter as well. That's a lot of DMX control included in movement. Like I said, I will show you quickly. If I turn the camera there, just like a moving head, we've got left and right. Quite a quick reaction if you want it. Up and down that a moving head would give you tilts the disc, just like up and down. And then on top of that, you've got the disc rotation. And you can rotate that as slowly or as quickly as you like. And in both directions. Now you're starting to get the idea of the amount of control you've got over this light and just how much fun you can have with it. What we're going to do, get some smoke in the room, get the lights out, and we'll show you little bits of the control with the lights out so you can see it better, and with a little bit of smoke in, and we'll then show you some of the stuff I've programmed into it and some of its pre-programmed stuff. Okay, we're back again. We are, honestly. See, I prove it. We're just sat in a very dark room at the moment. A little bit of haze in here. Reason being, they're going to show you just what this can do and how much control you've got. It might be a long-winded video, but believe me, it needs to be for this light. It's an incredible piece of kit. So if we turn it round, point it at the light, and we'll bring up just white. Here we go. Here's your plain colours. Right then, on top of that, your combinations of two colours. Just look how thick those beams are and how hard hitting they are on the walls and ceiling. And your combinations of three colours. Bearing in mind, they all hit the walls separately as well. And now, all of them. That's red, green, blue and white, all on. And back through quickly. Right, on top of that, there's auto colour chases. And see, not all of them are on sometimes, they just work their way around the disc. Bearing in mind we haven't got this spinning yet. This is without any movement. That's random, you can just see. Those are just random hits. That's your 9 different chases. On top of that, you've then got your internal programs. Some of them are faster than others. These are all pre-programmed for you, all controllable from DMX. So you just set them up on a Q button on DMX. You imagine this in a large venue. Bear in mind, this is a very small lounge this is in. Like a peacock's tail. As you can see, some of the programs, it keeps the disc still. Some of them, it runs it slowly. Some of it runs them quite fast. All depends on the internal programs you've selected. And finally, sound active, which, if I stamp my feet, you can see it picking the sound up off it and changing pattern, colour and movement to it. Bring it back to a normal shutter, bring up some colour for you, and then I'll show you some of the programs I've put into it. This is a classic 80s Venus effect, and it continuously rolling over. With that many internal programs, really you don't need to put any into it. You can just grab them with DMX and use the internals, but I just like to be a little bit creative and play about with some of them myself. As you can see, fantastic effect from it. And on top of that, the beams that they light the dance floor with, but also you can see the colour splash all over the walls, which is absolutely fantastic effect. It really, honestly, if I can get outside tonight I will, and I'll film a little bit outside because it really just you can see how powerful it is. It will splatter a big venue. You've seen it in some of my videos. Absolutely splatters colours all over a big venue. Another one of my favourites I programmed in was this one. Just kind of shows off what it'll do. Like I said, you've really got to see the light and the amount of control you've got over it to understand why I went crazy to get it. And just to prove a point, main light's on. Look how little haze is in the room. Hardly anything. That's how bright this is. Well, hope now you can understand my fascination with the UFO, and it might inspire a few of you. Lovely centrepiece light. Aldo Hoffman, I mentioned him at the beginning. He uses it as a centrepiece for his show with two nucleuses, one either side, and that's basically his main effects. And that's for big high school dances. I use it as a centrepiece with movers because it complements moving heads really, really well. I can't stress enough, it's one of my favourite lights. But I'll leave you with that. Practice and enjoy. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to get outside with the light tonight to blow it off for you. It's absolutely thrown down with rain. Last thing I want is a nice ADJ UFO outside getting wet. So I've had to leave it at that. Bear in mind, everything I showed you in the dark part of the video was being controlled by DMX. You can actually grab hold of the light and do all of that with it with DMX. Like I said, don't just leave it to sound to light. If you're going to get one, take control of it and really enjoy it. It's one hell of a fixture. Your crowd will love it. It never fails to get a wow off somebody or a lot of people, to be honest with you, wherever I take it, wherever people see it.